Hello, my friends, and welcome back to a new episode of the Optimistic Agenda podcast. I am so glad that you're here because today's episode is really something that I am celebrating and I'm so excited to share with you. It has been a minute since I uploaded a new episode, so I'm excited for this one. It's only taken me about a month to get down to getting this done for you. So today I'm talking all about and sharing my 3 lessons in celebration of 3 years of my Bar-versary. So for those of you who don't know, my background is in legal and I'm an advocate by profession. And it took me a long time, and it was a very long, arduous journey full of blood, sweat and tears to be admitted to the bar. And it had been something that I'd wanted for such a long time, and I totally manifested it because it happened exactly the way and when I wanted it to happen by, because I'd set kind of deadline for when I wanted it to happen, and it did, because I wanted it to be before I hit a major milestone in my life. And I did not want to go into that and start that journey off with just having this, still in my field, if you will, or still on my plate, like it's just something I was still thinking about or worrying about or whatever. And it happened exactly that way. I got admitted literally about a month and a little bit before my birthday. And incidentally, it took place right about a month before COVID hit the world. So if it hadn't happened when it did, which was in February of 2020, then I would literally have had to wait several months to a year just for this to come around. So this is a big deal, and I am totally celebrating, literally still to this day, and I'm still celebrating it. So I wanted to share 3 lessons for this 3-year anniversary. And this is, again, in the legal, especially in Kenya, the 3 years is a huge milestone, especially after the date of admission, because that's when you become a commissioner for oaths. And that is where you can sign some extra documents. So without further ado, my lesson number 1 is to remain persistent. Now, my history or my story is I did not study at university level in Kenya, and I'd gone abroad. I studied and I came back to Nairobi, and I had to do the local system and adjust to it and learn all about it. And I'd never done anything of the sort. And their syllabus, the way everything is taught and all of that, despite being common law, is very, very different and a lot more intense. And because I hadn't done anything at that level, there was just so many years of just getting to grips with it, to learn. I had to go through a law school, very, very challenging for me personally. And it turned out at around the same time I was going through my Saturn return, which I found out about later on. I'm going to make a whole episode on this as well separately to go into detail. But there was just all of this shit hitting the fan, going through the dark night of the soul, all at the same time. And I failed quite a number of papers, which just threw me down even further down the hole. I feel like I'm tripping over my words, but so despite all of that, and I had friends who were passing, friends who were finishing, and for me it just seemed like this cycle was pretty endless. But I kept doing it and I kept showing up. And the lesson here is to remain persistent. if there is something that you want and you want it badly enough, there is literally nothing and no one that can stop you. And nothing and no one should be able to stop you, because you have that picture and the end goal in mind. For me, getting to these 3 years, even getting to that first year, the year of admission, that day of admission, it was literal blood, sweat, and tears that it took me to get to that point and to that day. And I am so proud of myself. So remain persistent in the face of literally anything that you want, because if you do want it that bad, you will find a way to make it happen, no matter how long it takes, because the time is going to pass anyways. The second one is, do not listen to the naysayers. Like, if I told you if I had $1 for the number of well-meaning and well-intentioned people that kept telling me to stop or to take a break or to consider something else, or were out there judging me in any way or whatever, I would be a very, very rich woman. People will project their own things onto you, their own beliefs, their stories, their all sorts of things. Beliefs, if I didn't say that. They're going to project all of those things onto you, and your job is for you to have your bigger picture in mind and trust yourself that you know what you're doing, because you know what's good for you and what's best for you. I did consider quitting. I did consider just to stop, because it was very intense. I was literally at that point sitting for exams, multiple papers, practically every 6 months, all while working a job and just trying to be on top of everything, because I was, again, like I said, going through the dark night of the soul, and there was just so much stuff just being thrown at me, so many challenges, and I just wanted to just throw in the towel. But when I stopped and I took a step back and I took a breath and I asked myself, is this what I really want? Will I regret not pursuing this or not carrying forward with it if I just left it right now? Would I regret it a few years down the line, 10, 15, 20, 40 years down the line? And the answer was yes. So I kept going, because I knew that why I did not listen to anyone who told me otherwise. And number 3 is to ask for help. This was the very reason for me passing that one paper that I kept failing over and over and over again. Get a coach, get a teacher. This is whether you're sitting exams, whether you want to start a business, whether you want to heal from something, whether you want to up level, no matter what, it is so important, and they're there for a reason. You don't have to do it all yourself. And just asking for help got me past the difficulties that I kept encountering and kept hitting up against. It was like a glass ceiling that I couldn't break past, until I just thought and considered, like, okay, who can I ask? And it was just that one little act of just asking one person that led me towards in the direction of the teacher who was able to guide me and teach me and get me to finish that one paper that was literally my nightmare, which was accounting, because I had never done it. They hadn't taught us any of that. We either in class or I hadn't learned it before either. So that was something completely new for me, and I just didn't know it, and I couldn't grasp my head. I mean, I couldn't get my head around the principles and couldn't grasp them. So just that small action of just thinking of, okay, who can I ask? And I just need help. Just identifying, also realizing that I needed help that's a huge step. And just feeling like I had to do it alone or figuring it out, otherwise it was cheating, was very, very, very hard. And I put cheating in quotes, because at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know. And there are people who are there to help. There are people who are there to guide you. There are people who can see a bigger vision that we can't. There's people out there who can help us zoom in when we need it. So there's all these different situations in our lives where we may need to ask for help. We are social creatures after all, and we work in communities and we thrive in communities. So always, please, no matter what, ask for help. Okay, so those were my 3 lessons. In summary, In summary, number 1, remain persistent. Number 2, don't listen to the naysayers. And number 3, don't be afraid to ask for help. Get a coach, get a teacher to get you to where you want to be faster. And if you loved what you heard, then please take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and don't forget to tag me on @theoptimisticagenda. And did I forget to mention, if you want to dive in deeper, then you can work with me one-on-one. Just send me a DM and let me know what it is that you want to work on, and we can take it from there. Or if you want to get a feel of my work, sort of just get your feet wet a little bit, you can get my Radical Self-Love Workbook on Etsy by going on the link etsy.com/theoptimisticagenda, and that should direct you straight to the shop. I will put the link in the show notes for just to make it easier for you. And I'm constantly adding new offers. So if we're not already connected, come and say hi and follow me on Instagram. I'm @theoptimisticagenda, and just come and follow me for all of the updates and more juicy goodness. Super. That is it from me for now. Still tripping over my words, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.